Young members of the Tren De Aragua gang are terrorizing Times Square, right in the middle of New York City. They're targeting tourists, pulling off armed robberies. None of them are behind bars. New York City Council Minority Leader Joe Borelli joins me now. Some of these youngsters are as young as 11 years old, and they're living in our shelters. We're paying for that. How is this allowed to happen?
Well, Stuart, call me old-fashioned, but I only appreciate paying the room and board on our criminals once they're in jail, not when they're living in luxury hotels down the block from where we're standing right now. This is an active recruitment process by a Venezuelan gang going on in one of our hotels right before our eyes. This crew started out as a robbery crew. They were doing pickpocketing, small arms robbery, jacking people for their wallets and things like that. They have turned into a full-fledged gang. The NYPD is very worried about their interaction with the Latin Kings. There might be an ongoing gang violent war happening, again, right in front of our eyes and in the shelters we're paying for.
But do we know which hotel? We know which shelters? We know which gang? We know who the kids are? We know it? We can't stop it.
It's not Colonel Mustard in the conservatory.
Why can't we stop it?
Not. Well, number one, Stuart, we have a law here in New York City that prevents the NYPD from cooperating with ICE. So even though we have arrested these folks, we have let them out because of our liberal, bail reform policies. Now you get the double dose of failed liberal policies with sanctuary cities, where we can't even cooperate with ICE to put these folks through the immigration justice system, so that the net result is them getting the heck out of here and out of our hair.
Do you think this will ever change, the sanctuary city concept, and you can't cooperate with ICE? Will that ever change?
It changes when the voters in this state elect responsible people. Again, this starts from the top, by the way. They could elect Donald Trump and Mike J.D. Vance. They cannot elect Kamala Harris, who has opened the border in the Biden-Harris administration to let these folks in the first place.
Would it take a Republican governor of New York and a Republican mayor of New York City to make that change, to end the sanctuary status?
It would. It certainly would.
That's what you've got to do.
It certainly would. We already have the state police cooperating with the NYPD on some of these migrants who are running brothels in Queens. We should see that happening with the NYPD here, because the state police can actually overcome those sanctuary city policies.
There is a great deal of speculation about the future of Mayor Eric Adams. There is speculation about that former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, he could run for the mayoralty of New York City if Adams steps aside. The New York Times put out an op-ed, "New York can do better than Andrew Cuomo." Okay, well, wait a minute. Who does the New York Times want to be the mayor of New York City? I have no idea. And what about, who would you want? Do you want Cuomo? Do you want Letitia James? Who do you want to run the city?
Personally, I'd want Joe Borelli, if you ask me. But
you ain't going to get it.
We'll see. But the truth about Andrew Cuomo is that this is someone who had his own corruption scandals. His own administration was full of these cases where people working under him were accused and convicted of corruption. He impaneled a commission to go after corruption in state government. Once it started investigating Andrew Cuomo, he actually disbanded this commission. He's a guy who was resigned from office because he was about to be impeached. So I don't think the New York Times is wrong here saying that we can do better than Andrew Cuomo. The problem, as you so succinctly pointed out, is who's better than him. There really isn't a lengthy depth chart of individuals in this city who could run this city the right way and take us back on.
This city is still going down, isn't it? The spiral is down. It's not stabilized yet. It's down.
I never bet against us. I think we will come back, but it's going to take someone with real conviction and a spine to stand up to the woke left and push back.
Don't hold your breath. Joe Borelli, but seriously, thanks very much for being with us. Appreciate it, sir.